My father took a shard of glass and swung it. Moments later, there was blood on the floor. My name is Sean, and I grew up in a dysfunctional family. This is a part of my story. I don't remember when all of the chaos in my house began. All I remember is I had to brace myself for the constant fights at night in our home. My mother often tells me that there were moments when life as a family was beautiful. But something happened to our father, and from then on, nothing was the same. We never knew why he began to hate us as a family, and we may never know. We were a family of 4, my mother, father, my older sister, and me. Back in those days, we were quite well off. My father's business was going great, and life was good. We had a big house with a beautiful garden, a good car which was considered a luxury back then. We often went on a family vacation, and of course the frequent night outs as a family to a restaurant. We had good clothes, toys, food, everything money could buy. But behind that comfort, there was always a price to pay. My father would come home from his shop at around 6 p.m. in the evening. He would then begin drinking his favorite whiskey, and most of the time Mother would join too. By the time we'd finished dinner, Father would already be drunk out of his senses. My sister and I had learnt long ago it was useless to meddle in their quarrel, so we quietly went to our room. We would hear them shouting, screaming, and the dreaded noise of things being thrown around. The next morning, we would see our mother, who would often be bruised or bleeding. One day we heard Mother saying to her friend that she could not get divorced for our sake, for the sake of her children. She said that a father figure was important in a child's upbringing, and for that reason she had to tolerate Father. Me and my sister were dumbstruck. We felt so guilty. Although my parents never hit us directly, we often found ourselves caught in the crossfire of their rage. One such night, a horrible accident took place in our home. An accident that left my sister scarred for life, and me and my mother traumatized. I had never feared for my life in front of my father, but that night changed it all. On that faithful night, my father came home looking angrier than usual. He didn't talk much, he never did, and as always, he began drinking. He had a beautiful collection of whiskey bottles, and that night he opened one of his rare ones. My mother quietly served him some snacks. Father was sitting on the couch, drinking and watching some show on the television, while Mother was standing beside the door. My sister and I were on the floor, playing with our toys, silent, cautious, reading the air. We had learned to sense when something was about to go wrong between our parents by just feeling the silent tension in the air. Our body had adapted to the violent nature of our house, warning us beforehand if something was about to go wrong. Except for the noise of the television, there was an eerie silence in the room. Then suddenly, we heard a loud noise. Father's glass had slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. He cursed under his breath, got up, and started picking up the pieces. My mother, who was standing in the room, rushed towards Father and tried to stop him. She told him she'd clean it up, but he ignored her and continued picking up the shattered glasses quietly. He then placed the shattered glasses on the table and started drinking straight from the bottle. We watched him, hearts pounding, while the eerie silence continued. Moments like this always came before a storm. The room felt heavy, the kind of silence that hurts your chest. Then, without warning, he grabbed a piece of glass, shoved the table aside, and charged at my mother. My sister, who was sitting beside me, screamed and ran to push Mother away from the direction Father was charging at. My sister succeeded in saving Mother, but in that instant, Father's hand swung down. The glass cut across my sister's face. Blood poured everywhere. Mother was crying. My sister was screaming, and I couldn't move. Meanwhile, Father sat back on the sofa, calm, cold, as if nothing had happened. He didn't utter a single word, nor did he have any expression of regrets on his face. My mother, although in shock, jumped into action immediately. She cursed and screamed at my father. At the same time, she picked up the old telephone, called a taxi, and rushed my sister to the hospital. At the hospital, my sister was rushed into emergency unit and shortly taken into operating room. The cut was pretty bad. It ran through the jawline from my sister's left cheek all the way towards the earlobe. I remember the doctor saying she was lucky. Had the cut been any longer, or even few centimeters from where it was, she wouldn't be alive. The wait in front of the operating theater was intense, as it was nerve-wracking and anxious. Although I was too small to grasp the weight of what was happening, I knew something was very serious. My sister required 12 stitches across her jawline. She was kept in the hospital for a few days and then discharged. All this while, I didn't go back home. My mother instead sent me to her friend's house, where my sister and my mother came to stay for a few days after getting discharged from the hospital. During our stay over at the aunt's house, my mother held long discussions with my father. She would gather a few of her friends and neighbors and talk to him. This time, my mother found the courage to tell my father that if he didn't mend his ways, we would never come back to his house. After a few days, father finally agreed to mend his ways, and we headed back to our house. But peace in our house lasted only a few days. Father slowly got back into his habits of fighting with mother. But now he was more careful. He and my mother made sure that we went to bed before the arguments began. Today, my sister is 40. She still has the scar, a faint line of stitch running from her jaw to her ear, a reminder of the nights we lived in constant fear. We faced many more such ill-fated events at our home. We also realized early on in our life the societal pressure on a family like ours. We were constantly looked down upon by our friends as a child, bullied and beaten. People who knew our family questioned us about everyday quarrels in our house. It made us feel inferior, but as always, our mother stood strong for us. Our parents separated long time ago, and nowadays we do bring out the topics of our traumatizing childhood. It still brings shivers down our spine. How we survived, how we learned to carry our pain in silence. It's sad, but it also makes us grateful. Grateful that despite everything, we made it through. I will be sharing many more of our experience as a broken family, the impact it had on us growing up. I hope that parents from around the world will learn from our experience and treat their family better.